It all started years ago when I was about 19. My mom was selling manufactured houses in East Texas. And she was there helping people get into homes that nobody else could. And the reason because is she was helping people restore their credit. At that time, I didn't know the importance of credit. But later I found out. I went to go get a job in Rockwall, Texas at a bank. And I went in for the first interview and it went well. And then she called me back in for the second interview and I thought, I have the job. And when I went in, she said that, Brad, we're not able to hire you because you had some discrepancies on your credit. And I was like, what's a discrepancy? And she said, basically you had some bad credit. And at that time, I didn't know much about credit. And I was probably about 21 or 22 at that time. Well, come to find out, a health club had put something bad on my credit so it kept me from getting that job. And at that point in life, I realized how important credit was. And then different places I went to work at, I had friends talk about their bad credit. And I started having my mother help me with my credit. And I got my credit restored, and different friends at places I worked at, I helped them restore their credit. And I started realizing the importance of credit and how many people had bad credit. So I went to work for one of the largest credit restoration companies in Texas. And when I worked there in the first month, I had an 86% closing ratio because I knew we were helping people. And after working there for 6 months, their integrity level is just not where mine was. And I left the company and went to work for another company. And they weren't doing the proper work. I started my own company in 2000, part-time. And I'd done it for about 2 years part-time in Dallas, Texas, starting out. Then I went to Oklahoma. And around December 2002, I tore my calf muscle and I couldn't work for 8 weeks. And when I went to Oklahoma, I started going to church with my mother and I heard about tithing. And I thought tithing was a bunch of baloney. I thought it was just where you give your church money to a church and they take your money. And I didn't really believe in it. Well, I was challenged that weekend by a pastor to give a tithe. And tithe is where you give 10% of what you make to a local church. And at that month, my company was only part-time. And so it was making a little bit. So I gave 10% what I made. And I was barely paying my bills. When I gave that, the next month in January 2003, I signed up as many people in that 1 month as I did the whole year 2002. And then I kept on tithing. And within a year, the business just exploded. And that was working in a spare bedroom in my grandmother's house. That's where it all began. And then we opened an office in Clara, Oklahoma. And we was off Highway 75. That's right past Durant, Oklahoma, going back towards Texas, in between Sherman, Texas, and Durant. And then in 2006, we opened a location in Canton, Texas. And that's where our corporate office is at, our headquarters. And then in 2009, we opened another location towards the end of 2009 in Tyler, Texas. And we're talking to some gentlemen to open one in Longview. And we're talking to another gentleman to open one in Rockwall. And we're looking at going nationwide. I've also spoken at churches, been on radio shows, co-hosted shows. And, we have some new material coming out for kids to help educate teens. I've been to high schools and speak. We really got to protect the generation coming up. I feel the company, we've been helping restore the generation, but we have to protect the kids coming up. So that's the direction of focus. We plan on taking this nationwide, restoring the cities, but also protecting the kids coming up. So that's the future where we're headed.